So anyway, Rosalie Briley, Rodney Briley, and Rick Bush, and a bunch of other people, they decide that all they have to do is basically grab this one person, pretty much, and the world will be theirs. Um, and they basically do that, basically with me. Only, like I say, the SR-71s, I mean the LSF 71 blackbirds are made of depleted uranium and are basically priceless and pretty much known on 36 to 120 planets, as well as am I. So, but basically, because I was a computer, I hadn't been in human form before. But once I'm human form, they figure they can just off me and then replace me and pretend to be me, make up any story they want. I'm just another person. Anyway, even though I used to be a computer, I'm not anymore. But anyway, though, so they figure they can just trample upon what is me. It's a mistake that would actually end up getting JFK and Nixon, because because the first thing they do is just start, once they find out who Lucifer is. Well, first they put someone in time and space or whatever. They start calling themselves Lucifers or Luciferians or something like that or whatever. Lucifer with a C, Caesar, because they don't really Cesaro, because they don't really know how to spell my name. They just kind of guess at it, if they even knew my name at all. And they try and pretend like they are the American president or something, or president of America. And basically, it's just a scam, pretty much. Except they put a hit out or a contract out on my life, to kill me and to kill anyone, to basically kill or capture me, pretty much. Anyway, and so they basically go about doing exactly that, and also go about, starting the Kennedy legacy, basically, which is supposed to be this legacy of space travel and this and that, but pretty much just a legacy of pretty much TV broadcasting and pretty much, you know, taking bets on horse games. Basically, they would, like I said, they would record they were cameramen. They would record a game, and then they would watch and know the outcome, and then they would go and play it in another country or another state, and they would bet on who the winner was. And so they did this for a while until they got really pretty wealthy, and then they started, trying to do other media control and other media things. Anyway, and that led them to me and my ship, and basically trying to cover up my ship or trying to broadcast my ship in a different spot or time and make it look like they owned my spaceship so they could get access to what I was, or maybe even get picked up. Anyway, all they have to do is get to me and kill me and all that other stuff, which JFK Nixon tries to do. Anyway, or capture me. Anyway, or something or other. Anyway, so they set about doing that. And as they say, you shouldn't step on things unless you know what they are. Anyway, that would lead to basically JFK, Nixon, and a bunch of other people being tortured. And like I say, it's not really my fault. And realistically, believe it or not, I didn't even have to do it in the end. A bunch of other people were just going to do it on my behalf because it started to fuck with their existence as well. Like I said, JFK and Nixon and a bunch of scam artists basically becoming leaders or rulers of a country when they had basically killed a bunch of people and done a bunch of horrible things. And basically didn't give a fuck about anything or anyone. Basically would mess up a lot of other people's existences a lot more than it would mess up my existence. Like I said, and Marilyn Monroe and all the horrible things they did to her. Like, oh man, they treated that poor girl like, I mean, they passed her around like she was a cheap whatever, and would even bring her to tears and even slap her around and beat the crap out of her. She was like their punching bag, basically, for many, many years. The original Marilyn Monroe was basically their human punching bag. And they would do all kinds of cruel jokes on her and very vicious, vicious things. And even would kill men that she was dating and stuff, and then laugh about it. Like I said, the original Marilyn Monroe, she had a lot of reasons to hate JFK. A lot of reasons. Like I said, they would pay people to boo her, or to even say mean things to her. I mean, they did that to a lot of women. They'd see a girl that they liked, and then they would basically pay people to treat them like shit, and even try to isolate and try and actually even bring them to tears, and even withhold drugs or give them drugs or make them lose their job. They do all kinds of really horrible things. JFK and the JFK boys. Anyway, so being in somewhat power, he wasn't even president. He wasn't even in power. He was just doing a bunch of fucked up shit because he had money from the stealing for the betting games. Anyway, though, he might have even killed NASA and some other people to actually even run away with the money. Anyway, he was a very, 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 very horrible person. He was a really horrible person. Nixon, JFK was a really, really, really ridiculously horrible person. That boggles your mind at how horrible he was. Like he wrote the book on horrible, mean things to do. So a lot of people wanted him dead and tortured. So in the end, it's not even like my thing really. Like there's a line for that guy and a bunch of other people. Like, I mean, getting in my good graces or being around or getting taken by me would have been preferable to getting taken by somebody else, because there were a lot of people that wanted to literally peel his skin away from his body and basically slowly watch him squirm without his nice fleshy skin on the outside. There's a lot of people that really hated him. They did a lot of torture. They did a lot of really cruel things, and a lot of women hated them as well. A lot of people hated them. Anybody who really knew them. So anyway, so in the end, like, it wasn't even really me. But anyway, they stepped upon me, and I just became just another victim of them. But, well, I'm a victim with, with a bit more. Anyway, and then once they found out exactly who I was and exactly what was going on, they actually had a taste of what I was. That's when they got psychotic, and they started doing some really psycho things, like even having sex bots built or robots built and programming in instructions so they would run off and destroy other planets. And they would even think that they were humans and stuff like that. Like the Jimmy Carter robot thought he was a person and thought he had been a person. He even had fake memories of Marilyn Monroe and actually even had this fake idea and relationship that he supposedly had with her, but that never happened, and how she loved him and blah blah. And maybe I had taken her away. Anyway, they did all this messed up things to robots. And he was just, I talked to him one time. I was like, everything you think you know is just programming. It's just fake memories. You've never been a person. You never will be a person. You're a robot. Anyway, he couldn't quite grasp it, and like I said, in the end, I used an antimatter explosive bigger than any other, and basically vaporized him and the planet he was on. And the 3 of his other little robot clones, and it was probably the best thing to do, because he couldn't quite grasp or understand the fact that he was a machine. A very confused machine that thought he was actually a person. But I was starting to have problems with the fact, or the deal with the fact, he thought he was immortal, and just an immortal human. And it's like, no, actually you're a robot, and a sex bot at that. And really, realistically, a sex bot that's been programmed to be cruel and vicious. So a tweaked robot. Anyway, so one antimatter bomb later, and he was vaporized, and the world's a better place. Like I said, it took me a while to kill him, and to kill everybody else, including the 50 or so JFK clones, or 30 or so JFK clones. Anyway, and then eventually somewhere around there, we start getting down the line and start getting into Rodney and Rosalie and other people that pretty much deserve to die and should have died a long time ago. Anyway, and everything else. So, anyway, and basically them actually trying to even destroy my LSF ship, basically, my colony ship. They tried to destroy it. They tried to cut up my LSF 71 aircraft. They tried to destroy them too. They tried to destroy everything, to wipe my whole existence and the existence of any other colony that I'd been on, off the face of the earth. That's what it leads to.